first entered the space, I immediately looked at this large wall space, and I really wanted to work around that. Because my piece explores notions of existence and self-perception, I really wanted to create this large wall mural that is a portrait. So I think when I came across the research and the scientific work of the revolutionary scientist Stephen Hawking, he advocates this analogy of the goldfish in a round, like, goldfish bowl. It has its own set of physics and laws, but it's all governed by its own distorted perspective of reality because of the concave shape of the bowl. I think the reason I'm very concerned, or I have this continuous obsession or exploration of time passing, is because the way I grew up. I think growing up in a city in a time of very fast development and rapid change, it had in me, and I think a lot of people in the Middle East, or especially in the fast developing cities, have that notion of change that came at a very fast race. So there's always a sense of wanting to linger back in a moment of nostalgia, or a moment of reflecting on the past. I think a lot of artists explore this theme, and it's evident in a lot of the contemporary Middle Eastern work. So I think my identity shines through because of this concern of change and time passing, and notions of existence and non-existence.
Person, growing in Dubai, I think my environment gave me the chance to make a lot of changes. Of course, good change, and I was always encouraged and motivated to make that good change that I think is good for my environment. And as a creative person, I took art as the way of making that change, and the environment is part of the people. And people are part of their surrounding and part of their space. They both affect each other. Related to the space I'm at, I like to look around that space and see what kind of materials take more in that space, or what kind of work is done in that space. What's the industry, and is it more like a market? Is it a shopping mall? Is it more of a restaurant? Is it very traditional? Is it very industrial? And this mainly, this is where the inspiration and ideas come from. The idea is born in my head, and then I try to actually visualize that idea and then create it the same way I imagined it.
I think the great thing about Project D is that it can just as well be a solo show for one artist, and at the same time can be something for emerging young artists and be very experimental. Yes. And even for me as a curator that's emerging, can experiment in such a venue, and I think that's what's exciting.
Yeah. Capital D approached me, and they wanted to create the space, and wanted someone to oversee different projects that could come in. So it's very experimental. Can have a few exhibitions or launches or whatnot. So the space really changes and creates itself. I think the title of the show, like, it talks about time and space, and it also relates to my relationship with Noor and the space itself, which is very interesting because
there's irony within the title. So when we finally shortlisted the artists, we decided that according to the theme of the show, that Zainab al-Hashmi and Shama al-Amri, although working within that framework, have very diverse and different practices.
Yeah, very different. But at the same time, they work well together. Their work complements each other. So we decided to have them.
Make it happen.
Make it happen, yeah.